Hey everybody, on today's video, I'm going to talk about what you need to know about second home loans, whether it's a regular second or a HELOC, which stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. Now, I do want to tell you that I am against seconds, but there are certain situations where I do recommend to get a second. And those reasons are if you're in the middle of a refinance and you need to get a second in order for you to complete the loan because you're going to pay off some unwanted debt or some bills in order to lower your overall payment. Now, I would ask you, if you're new here, to please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you notice next to the subscribe button, there is a little bell. If you go ahead and hit that bell, what it will do is actually notify you anytime I upload any new videos. Now, it sounds like a great idea whenever you're thinking about either getting a second because you already have a really low rate on the first. But the fact is if you do get a second, you have to understand that when you do the math and you go over the numbers, you're going to realize that yes, you have a good rate on the first, but if you continue to pay the interest on the second, the longer you have it, the more money that you're giving back to the banks. Now, the home equity line of credit, most people don't know, it is an adjustable rate and they only have you pay interest only. Now, with the second mortgages, the rate tends to be higher because they're in second lien position. So there's two types of loans. There's a HELOC and the second mortgage. Now, what you also need to know that if you do get a second, most people do not consider that a lien, but you are adding a mortgage onto the title of your home. What you're ultimately doing is, instead of getting one mortgage, you're getting a first and a second, and you're hoping that you can pay that out as soon as possible in the second. You're trying to make the right decisions for you and your family to either pay off some credit card debt, to do some home improvement. Let's say you want to do the kitchen or the bathrooms. And what this does is it actually makes you forget about the rate, and the lenders, they'll offer you a low rate, which looks like a mirage. And the reason I say a mirage is because over time, the longer you keep the second, you're going to realize that you're throwing a lot of the money that you've earned and you're putting that money towards your home rather than towards the principal. So what you're ultimately doing is you're getting a blended rate. And what that blended rate does is it puts you in a situation to where your rate can go up or down. It's a teaser rate because you're putting yourself in a situation where it's an adjustable. And when you have an adjustable, it's not stable. You don't know if it's going to go up or down. So you're putting yourself in a situation where you're constantly seeing your balance remain the same. The reason that is on the HELOCs, you're paying interest only. Now, you can pay more, but most people don't pay more than the minimum payment. So what that does is it actually makes more of your money towards the interest rather than the principal, which you're not gaining more equity. Now, the good news is I do want to tell you that if you do have a first and a second, that right now is a really great time for you to consolidate the first and the second, because the values are really high and the rates are really great right now. So if you're thinking about consolidating the first and the second, please give me a call anytime. I would love to answer any questions that you may have, as this could be a good situation to where if you're thinking about doing it, but you're not sure if your debt ratio is too high or if your house is underwater, it could be very overwhelming. And this I understand, but I do want to tell you that you definitely need to make sure before you assume, you have to play the game, which is you have to see if you qualify rather than assuming. So I know you have a lot of questions. If you do have any questions, you can feel free to give me a call anytime. I do want to tell you that it does make sense when you're considering saving money overall through the life of your loan. And if this is something that you are interested in, feel free to give me a call anytime. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you're new here, I would ask you to please consider subscribing to my channel, Angel Medina, your lifelong mortgage advisor. Thank you.